Hi, my name is Adam Oldfield and I'm the Managing Director and founder of Force24. Today I'd like to show you very quickly how you can drag and drop your way to success on building emails very quickly. Now in Force24 we've got an internal guideline and that says it should take you no more than 5 minutes to build any email. If it takes you more than 5 minutes to build an email, you're building it wrong, because users don't appreciate overcomplicated, over-engineered emails. So there's a couple of things that we've done to make it possible to make it actually build an email in less than 5 minutes. So I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But first, what I want to point out, remember we're based in the UK, and as a UK provider, one of the things we do is we give you free training and support for life. So whether it's for yourself, members of your team, if you don't feel they're being as efficient as possible, you can reach out to us at any time in your relationship, and within 2 minutes we'll train you and make sure you're up to speed and know where you're up to. So it's not always about just knowing what to do, it's knowing how best to do it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and log into the platform. Here we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump straight into the email templates. Now, I could view it. I could quickly access the most recent email templates here, but I'm going to go straight into my email templates homepage here. Now, what I can see here is the fact that I've got 3 different categories. I know it says upload and snippets, but let's forget those for a moment. Okay, so I've got my master templates, my account templates, and my publish templates. Now, one of the things you might notice is the fact that I've got no emails about florists and things like that in here. This is all my stuff. So this is stuff I've created, and I've pushed all of the bespoke stuff, all the stuff that's in the template library, to the bottom of the pile. Okay, so this is just my stuff that the page loads up with. Now my master templates are templates that I've saved, and I've thought, you know what, I'm going to use that time and time again. That's a great place for me to start, and I'll use it time and time again. That saves me a lot of time, but it's not the be all and the end all. The account templates are my work in progress templates. These are the ones I'm currently working on. And published is the ones that I've gone, right, I'm happy with that, I'll publish it and I'll lock it in. So then make it available to use throughout the system. That way we're not getting confused when I've updated this email template here, but should that be now working in on the journey that it's live in? Or should that be, you know, for example, if I've got a brochure download and I edit the email here, do I immediately want that to be working there, or do I want to update it myself manually later on? It's up to you. But the point is, the publish template locks it in position for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how to build an email in less than 5 minutes using the drag and drop function, starting from just a header and footer position. And then I'm going to add dynamic content personalization on top of that, all within 5 minutes. So here we go. I'm going to start with this template here. This is just my basic header and footer template. It's nothing more than my header and footer. That's pre-approved by the business. Now, first thing I'm going to do is jump into this layout mode, and I could drag and drop these components, you know, text, images, whatever, but I'm not gonna, because that's old-fashioned. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work with stuff I've already built, stuff I've already done, and here's one right now. So this is my GDPR footer. I'll drag that in. So rather than me dragging in some text and then customizing that text, making the colors right, whatever, I'm doing it once, I'm saving it, and I'm reusing it time and time again. So that's saved me a lot of time. Next piece I'm going to go with is this. That's great, which is a nice intro piece. Then I'm going to go, and then I'm going to go with, where am I? This piece. Okay, and then I want some text underneath there. There. Okay, so single column approach, always the best approach, gives the user a direction to follow. Multi-column disrupts the message hierarchy. So when I'm moving things into many columns in an email, it disrupts that flow. I want to go top to bottom. When I've got columns, I don't do that. I do this. And so as a marketeer, we've got to understand when to use that and when it's appropriate. I like to go with real simple, real easy to use emails like this. But the point is, even if you have got a complicated email, you'd save out that structure and you just save into your library, drag it in, drag it in, drag it in, drag, drag, drag. Easy peasy. Now, I've still got all the same customization available to me within these templates. Within these assets, as I did if I had created it from scratch. So here I'm going to jump over to the content mode, and content mode is where we change the stuff. You know, so we've got the layout. I now need to change the words and the stuff. So here we go. So this is obviously white text, so I'll invert the background color of that, and I want to change this to now say this whatever. I can insert some personalization as well. I might want to put the first name in or something like that of the user. Whatever I want to do, it's up to you. I could have just typed it as well. It's up to me. Now you'll notice that we're not editing these things in the email itself, right? You know, we're editing it just off to the side, and there's a very good reason for that. And the reason for that is the fact that inline editing, web technologies are different to email technology. So to be building an inline editor like this now would mean we'd have to convert it when it comes to be sent. Now, when you do that, you find that what you see on screen is different to what gets delivered into your inbox. So by doing it this way, we've meant that, okay, it's not quite as cool, and the microsite builder obviously enables you to edit inline, but it's not quite as cool, but it gives me that reassurance that this is gonna be right. So I can switch over to any device, and I can test what it's gonna look like in any device, and be comfortable that that's actually how it's gonna look. So, okay, so I switched, so I can change all these things. I can change this button. Where does it go? What's the color of the button? And remember, we always have branded colors, so we can select which color we want from our branded color palette, or we can select from the color wheel. Now, I upload new pictures, I update the text, whatever, and I'm done. Or am I? So this is where we get cool. So this is where we can start to talk about dynamic personalization. I'm probably at about over 5 minutes now, but actually I've not been pressing many buttons. So let's pretend I've copied in this from my yeah, I've updated all of this wonderful stuff. Now I'm going to go back to my layout mode. So here's the thing. So I've got two different types of audiences. I've got one audience that respects me when I talk about them in this way, and one audience that talks about it this way. So what I can do on every single component within the email is I can duplicate it. And when I duplicate it and I roll over it, I have this little eyeball button here. And what that does is it enables me to determine which audiences will see or not see that button. So simple context would be, like I say, I've got one audience that respects me when I say this, and one audience that respects me when I say this. So I've segmented that audience, and let's say this is directors, and this is managers, and I want to talk to the directors. So I will say only show this when the contact is in my directors. I don't know if I've got one. Yeah, I have. I've got one called directors. Brilliant. And only show this one when the user is in my managers segment. Manager, that'll do. That's fine. Okay. So I've now made that personalized. Now what I want to do is I want to say, okay, well look, maybe I don't need to duplicate this. Maybe actually what I want to do is I'm inviting you to my webinar. But you know, some people have accepted it already and some people haven't. So what I'll do is I'll drop the webinar banner on it. Let's say, I'll drop that there. Let's pretend that's a webinar banner. And I'll say, okay, only show this when the marketing list is not webinar accepted. Webinar productivity, oh, I don't know, webinar invite, webinar, whatever. So now what's going to happen is, for people that have already accepted my invite to attend my webinar, I'm not going to show them this banner. But for people that haven't yet accepted it, I'm going to show them this banner. So there we go. I've built an email and it's dynamic now. Okay. So you might say, but that's easy because you know you've made that with Santa Claus. You haven't changed any of the colours. Well, okay, it wouldn't actually have taken me long to have said, oh, let's just quickly update that to green. We want that green. We want that to be the green as well. Oops. Want that to be the green as well. No problem. So that's all. Oh, now that needs changing. So we'll make that the blue. Save element. Oops. Sorry, I keep missing the button on here. Apologise. I want to mess that. Oh. There we go. Sorry about that. I've got a mouse which is pretty tricky to click. Anyway, so I've now changed more of these attributes, and I can do that. But here's the thing. Here's the next thing. So I built my first email, and I always say to people, the point about building email is you build one email, it takes me 5 minutes. Okay, I built 2 emails, it takes me 7 minutes. So let's have a look now. I go back to that template. This is the one I've just built. I want to duplicate it now. Okay, all of that logic about the audience has now come across. So I now don't need to build all that again. All I now need to do is update the content to reflect the second stage. So we've written some great guides on how we should build our nurture sequences. So if I'm going to talk about things 6 times, I need a different reason to talk about the same thing. And one of the things that we've done is we've given a guide. It's called the Ultimate Nurture Sequence. Look it up. It's in our content lab on our website, and it shows you how you can take one message and spin it up 6 different ways to really sort of get the maximum exposure of that particular piece of content. So that's me now on my second stage. So I'd then update the words. I'd update this button, and just to prove that it was me being lame, there we go. So I can change the colour of the button really quickly. It's just when I'm being lame, I can't. So I've now got my second email in the series that can be built within just a few moments. Now, I don't mean when I say you've got 5 minutes to build an email, I don't mean that you should be, rushing the text and, write the text ahead of time. I mean the construction. I mean you physically personalizing it, you building the email, you building it to fit the segments. That's where you got 5 minutes. You've got all the time in the world to write great, well-constructed, well-thought-out content. Don't scrimp on that. Content is king, but the execution should be very quick, and that's what we want to provide you. Nobody went into marketing to build emails. Everybody went into marketing to do great things with content. So I'm able to build these wonderful emails. I can do some absolutely fantastic things within the environment. Everything that I do is fully mobile compliant, but I've also got this beautiful facility here where I can, if I want, start to edit code. Now, I don't agree with this personally. I don't think you should edit code, because if I'm editing code, I'm never going to be delivering my email within 5 minutes, but it's there. And if I totally mess it up, I've got this ability to clear changes. And every time I make a change, it saves a little break point in the code. So I can go back to various different break points if I've really messed it up after I've been working on it for 5-10 minutes. So I'm not a big fan of building things through code. I think it should always be done through the editor. But when you do build something that's cool, one of the things you do is you've built it. You say, you know what? I like that green thing. I love what I've done there. I think the green and the red works. I'm going to now save it. So I select a category. Well, it's a 1 column. I'm going to tag it as well as a marketing text, and I'm going to add it to favorites. Bingo. So now what that's done is it's saved it to my library. So if I give it a sec, there it is. So when I want to build my next email, guess what? There it is. And it's also saved the personalization. It's also saved which audience it should be tagged to as well. Now, if I don't want that, I can just remove it, and bingo, it's gone. So email design and email development is something we're really passionate about, and an email is the hook. It's not the main course. So when I've shown you the simplicity of that email there, that's what we kind of advocate doing in your emails. But if you don't, what we often do is our team takes your emails and we can carve it up into these little snippets for you. We then lodge it into here for you. So it doesn't matter what your email looks like. It really does not matter. It's just drag and drop. It's so easy. And you build to your heart's content. You see nice little features like this as well. So I quite like to be able to swap this around, or I can play with the spacing. I can play with every attribute. I mean, obviously that's not a very smart thing to have done, but I can play with all the attributes of this particular email, and I can make it a different size. Swap the columns round, for example. I can go into any one of the columns and I can start padding it down. I can do all that stuff, but nobody respects me for it. Focus on what's important to the user, and that is simplicity. Single column, single message, single hierarchy. That's where we're going. So that's how to build a really, really quick email, fully dynamic, personalized email, just dragging and dropping. If you can't do it that quickly, you need to be looking at Force24. You need to book a demo. You need to have a chat with us. Now, if you've liked what you've seen here, don't forget, we've got a video that shows you how our journey builder works. We've got a video that shows you how to build data capture. We've got a video that shows you how our microsite editor works. So all of this information is there for you. We hope to see you on a demo soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.